live in central Pennsylvania for this weekend's review or preview of the URC for the weekend. That Stormers cap is covering my eyes, so let's get that out of the picture here. All right, so first game out of the gate is today at 9:35 Central Africa time in South Africa. It's 2:35 here in the U.S. About an hour and a half from now, this game's going to kick off. It's Cardiff versus the Stormers. Now, neither team is looking particularly good. Cardiff are 1 win, 1 draw, 3 losses with 9 points and in 12th place on the log. The Stormers, who came out like gangbusters, winning their first 2 games, scoring 12 tries, and just rolling over competition. To be fair, they were at home in Southern Africa. Then they went on the road for 4-game series, and they've lost 3 straight games. The last game, they looked a little bit better, but still lost 10-3, and that offense has just disappeared. We're pretty much the same lineup, so what's going on? But they've fallen from top of the log after 2 weeks to 9th place with just 12 points. 2 wins, 3 losses for the Stormers. The Stormers prop Brock Harris, the indomitable, the ageless wonder. Brock Harris will captain the Stormers for their clash against Cardiff. This will give him 400 senior professional caps. That's unbelievable. That's an amazing, amazing performance by Brock Harris over time. Now, the Stormers are hoping to end, as I said, this 4-match tour on a high note, winning at Cardiff Arms Park tonight. That's just in a short time here. Harris has 135 caps for the Stormers and over 100 for Western Province and for the Dragons. So 400 professional appearances by Brock Harris. Absolutely amazing career. Now, he's going to go level with Stephen Kitsoff, a former Western Province and Stormers player. Kitsoff is the most capped Stormers player. Tonight, Brock Harris ties him at that level. Stefan Ungerer will get his first start at scrum half for the Stormers, and something new. And here is the lineup for the Stormers against Cardiff in Cardiff tonight. Clayton Blumenkies at fullback. Courtnall Scosan appears once again on that right wing. Ruan Nel, Sasha Feinberg-Ngumzulu, Ben Loader on the left wing. Jean-Luc Duplessis is the fly half once again. Stefan Ungerer at scrum half. Marcel Tennyson, Willy Engelbrecht, the former Puma. Namazaba, Ruben van Heerden, and Ardre Smith are the locks. In the front row, Lee Marvin Mazubuku gets his first start for the Stormers. Andre Ugo Fenta and Brock Harris captaining the side. Off the bench, it's Scar Ntabane at the hooker position, Steve Sitole, Nicklin Fouché in that front row, Connor Evans, Hendré Stassen, Keke Morabe, Herschel, Yankees, and Warwick Gelant off the bench in Cardiff tonight. That's the first game. The next games are all tomorrow for the South African sides, United Rugby Championship action. And those games are the Lions versus Zebra at 2:55 Central Africa time. That'll be 8:55 in the morning here in the U.S. So I'll probably miss that game as well because I'll be on the road. Now, the Lions got their first win of the season the week before last, but now they've fallen to 1-4 with just 9 points and find themselves in 14th place on the log. Now, Zebra have impressed all season. In the 3 losses they've had, they played very well, could easily have won any of those games. Zebra are 1 win, 1 draw, 3 losses on the season, but they have respectable 11 points and find themselves in 10th place, just 2 slots from making a playoff run. Interesting, to say the least. So, for the Lions, Sanili Nohamba will retain the Lions fly half jersey. The normal scrum half has been playing fly half, where he's equally talented, and this will be at Ellis Park in Johannesburg. 3 changes to the starting lineup for the Lions, including J.P. Smith getting loose head jumper ahead of Corne Fourie, while the Ruans, Delport, and Fenta start at lock and blindside flanker. Here's the lineup for the Lions in their contest versus Zebra, a game that I'm predicting they're going to win. Kuhn Horn at the fullback, Richard Creel on the right wing, Henko van Wyk, Marius Lowe is the captain once again, Edvil van der Merwe on the left wing, Sanini Nohamba at the fly half, Morne van den Berg with the scrum half jersey, Franke Horn, Ron Fenta, Emmanuel Chuka, and then the locks are Ruben Skuman and Ruan Delport. And then that front row, Asenati Labakanye, PJ Bota, and J.P. Smith round out the Lions lineup. Off the bench, Jaco Fisagi is the backup hooker, Corne Fourie, Ruan Smith, Willem Alberts, the bone crusher, Hanru Sergel, J.C. Pretorius, the former Blitzbach, Jordan Hendrickson, and Rabaz Makwane. Now, the big game that we're really all looking forward to on Saturday, and I'm just going to be so disappointed I'll miss this game and not be able to cover it live, but I really am going to miss this game. This is the Bulls at home at Loftus Versfeld versus Connacht. That's at 5 p.m. Central Africa time for those folks in Pretoria. And then in addition to that, that is 10 a.m. here on the East Coast of the United States. Sorry, my stand was loose there. So 5 p.m. South Africa time, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. The Bulls are now 3-2 after leading for a week or so there atop the log. They dropped last week's game by 7 points. They have 15 points, but find themselves in 7th place after being in 1st place the previous week. They dropped to 7th place because other teams jumped ahead of them. Now, Connacht are among those teams that jumped up. They are now 4 wins, 1 loss, 18 points on the log, and find themselves in 4th place. Now, Jake White, the former Springbok coach and coach of the Bulls, has picked 3 returning Springboks. We're finally seeing Springboks make it back to these club sides for his squad. Willie Leroux will make his debut in a Bulls jersey. For Cheetahs fans, that must be particularly galling. It'd be at fullback, while Marco van Staden gets the number 6 jersey, and Kane and Moody will be on the bench. All 3 Springboks players from the World Cup. So here's the lineup. Willie Leroux at fullback, Sebastian de Klerk on the right wing, Stedman Guns, David Creel, Sergio Peterson is the left wing, Jaco van der Walt gets the fly half, Zach Berger the start at scrum half, Nizam Kar, Elric Lowe, Marco van Staden, and then the locks are Ron Notkia, who's the captain once again. He was a captain last year in a very difficult season. He really hasn't seen that jersey this year. Now we're seeing again, and Reinhard Ludwig. And then in that front row, it's Wilco Low, Akker van der Merwe, and Gerhard Steenkamp. Off the bench, the backup hooker is Jan Hendrik Wessels, Sifiwe Montazima, Mornay Smith, Janko Swanepoel, Kyle Brink, Ambrose Papier, the backup scrum half, Chris Smith, the backup fly half, and Keenan Moody, the Springbok, off the bench. That's the Bulls versus Connacht. And finally, the Sharks, the winless Sharks, take on the Dragons Saturday at 7:05 South Africa time. Prime time game for folks in South Africa to watch. That's noon Eastern Standard Time here in the U.S. The Sharks are winless, 0 wins, 5 losses, and frankly, they've looked atrocious in all but their last game. They are mired in last place in the 16-team competition. The South African side, the Sharks, are number 16. But the Dragons aren't much better at 1 win and 4 losses, just 6 points on the log, and they come in 14th place, just ahead of the Sharks. The Sharks getting returning Springboks players should make the difference. They are at home. They should win this game easily. So they welcome back several of the Springboks. So John Plumtree has picked Eben Etzebeth, Jaden Hendrickson, Makazole Mapimpi into the starting lineup, along with Lucanio Am, who didn't make an appearance in the World Cup, despite the fact that he was selected but didn't make an appearance. Played last week, so they'll all be playing this week. So here's your lineup for the Sharks, and this lineup is at fullback Afile Fase, got himself a red card and cost his team dearly recently. Werner Koch on that right wing. Lucanio Am is the captain. Francois Fenta, Makazole Mapimpi on the left wing. Apparently that injury to his face is healed now. The fly half, once again, Kerwin Bosch, Jaden Hendrickson, Springbok at scrum half. Sikumbuzo Noche, Pepsi Buthelezi, James Fenta, and then the locks are Emil van Heerden and Eben Etzebeth returning from the World Cup. In the front row, it's Kearney Oosthuizen, Fez Mbata, and Ntuku Chunu. Off the bench for the Sharks is Dan Justa, Oxenche, Hanro Jacobs, Corne Ral, Jean-Ray Labaskakne, Grant Williams, backup scrum half, Botte Chamberlain, backup fly half, and Rohan Janse van Rensburg. All right, let's get to predictions here, folks. What are the predictions? I predict the Stormers win by 5 over Cardiff on the road and break their 3-game losing streak, going level at 3-3. Then, Lions at Zebra. Although the Zebra have impressed, the Lions are at home, and I expect them to pull this one out, winning over Zebra. Bulls versus Connacht. This is the hardest one to call. Connacht looks tough. The Bulls look very good, even on the road. They're back home at Loftus. That should give them the upper edge. Plus, Springboks players coming back. I've got the Bulls over Connacht. And then the Sharks versus the Dragons. The Dragons look atrocious. The Sharks look even worse. However, multiple returning Springboks to the lineup at home at Kings Park in Durban. I'm picking all 4 South African sides to win this weekend. That's going out on a limb. But the hardest one, I think, would have been the Sharks or the Lions. And both of them playing at home, and they've got a chance to do something here. So 3 of the 4 South African sides are at home this weekend. Those sides, of course, are all but the Stormers. My Stormers will be playing in Cardiff, and I expect them to win there. So, fingers crossed. I'm hoping for a good Super Brew weekend. I hope your Super Brew weekend goes well. And that's your preview of the URC Club games for South African sides for this weekend, November 24th through the 26th, 2023. Who do you say is going to win? Feel free to leave comments behind this video, and good luck to all your sides in URC. South Africans need to step up to the plate this weekend and win all 4 games after losing all 4 games last weekend. Let's go Stormers. Cheers, everybody. Thanks for your patronage. Be sure to leave a like behind, and feel free to leave comments. If you disagree or you think I got it right, you let me know. Happy to hear it. Cheers.